Hey everyone, welcome back to your favorite pirate crew. Today we are going to talk about Luffy's Conqueror's Haki. If you would like to see more about One Piece in our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to join our pirate crew. Pirates, before we continue with the video, I ask that you already subscribe to our channel. That way you will join our pirate crew and earn a devil fruit or master your favorite Haki. It would also help our crew a lot if you leave your thumbs up on today's video, so together we can become Yonkos. Now, let's continue with today's video. We well know, and it was also officially proven to us by the One Piece manga itself, that Akumas no Mi are no match for the power of Haki. This ability to control, improve and perfect your attacks and defenses can actually become something quite threatening, otherwise making someone who has good control of all kinds almost invincible. Haki was introduced until recently in One Piece, but slowly it was worked on and explored as something quite inclined to adapt to its user. We even saw our captain of the Straw Hats using Haki in combat. This ability made him capable of facing very powerful opponents, and even, together with his other powers, made him capable of fighting Yonkos, pirates considered the most powerful in the world. But do you remember when Luffy started using Haki? Well, in case you don't, or if you vaguely remember, in today's video we'll take a closer look at the Straw Hats' use of this ability throughout the history of One Piece. Shortly before the time skip, Luffy had awakened the ability known as Haki, being one of the few known people capable of using all three types. Luffy was identified to possess this mysterious ability by Blackbeard after their first encounter in Jaya. He first showed the ability to use it when he knocked out Duval's horse, Motobaro, without actually hitting him. Since then, he has shown increased but uneven use, with little or no control, as the series continued. While leaving Impel down after Ace was sent to Marineford, Luffy encountered Blackbeard, who noted that Luffy's Haki had increased since their first encounter in Jaya. The fourth time Luffy unleashed his Haki was at Marineford when he saw Ace about to be executed. It was then that Ace and the sailors learned of his possession of Haoshoku Haki. This made him even more of a threat to the government. After the Marineford War, Luffy decided to train with Silver's Rayleigh. Luffy managed to learn the basics of Haki within a year and a half, although Rayleigh planned to spend the entire 2 years teaching him. Since reuniting with his team, Luffy has been shown consciously, actively and easily using Haki in combat. It should be noted that Luffy possesses what is considered a large amount of Haki. The captain of the Straw Hats is able to use Haoshoku Haki, a type of Haki possessed by only 1 in a million people. He used this ability several times in the series, being the first type of Haki he manifested. The first time Luffy was identified as possessing this type of Haki was when he stopped Boa Sandersonia from crushing a petrified Marguerite, although he first showed possession of this type of Haki when he scared off Duval's horse. When he protected Bentham from being attacked by wolves at level 5 Impel Down, Luffy unconsciously released his Haki. During the war in Marineford, he also used another burst of Haoshoku Haki when he saw Ace about to be executed, which knocked out many individuals, both sailors and pirates. This made it clear that Luffy, putting aside his identity as the son of the Revolutionary Dragon, is also a serious threat as a pirate just by possessing Haoshoku Haki. Before being trained by Rayleigh, Luffy demonstrated no control over this ability and didn't seem to realize he had it, but used it on instinct whenever it seemed most necessary, and could still use it even when extremely injured. With this training, Luffy demonstrated the ability to focus his Haoshoku Haki, knocking out a small group with a quick glance without affecting anyone. One ability of Luffy's Haoshoku is that he can tame large animals, as he was able to tame all the animals of the Ruskaina and tame the Kraken, which he did with great success in a very short time. Until the fight with the new Fishman pirates, Luffy only used Haoshoku when he needed to get people out of the way with minimal damage. The true extent of Luffy's Haki is seen when he takes out 50,000 of Hody Jones's henchmen. During his fight with Jin Zhao, during the Coliseum Race tournament, the two unleashed a powerful wave of Haoshoku when they clashed. In preventing Doflamingo from killing Law, both Luffy and Doflamingo used Haoshoku, which injured Law and drew the attention of many as it caused damage to the area. This Haki became Luffy's specialty. Luffy instinctively used Kebunshoku Haki during the war in Marineford when he was about to attack Dracule Mihawk, but then stopped himself when he predicted that his hands would be cut off if he continued the attack. Since training with Silver's Rayleigh, Luffy had gained incredible proficiency, allowing him to predict what an opponent intends to do. He was able to effortlessly dodge a bullet shot at close range from Demaro Black, as well as laser projectiles fired by a pacifist, commenting that the latter attack was too slow. His great proficiency with the skill is really shown when he was able to completely avoid Hody Jones's Yabusame effortlessly. He was also able to dodge some of Katakuri's attacks using his precognition, although most of the attacks hit, despite the latter being an extremely skilled master of Kenbunshoku, which Katakuri noted as being somewhat rare. Luffy was also shown to be able to discern Caribou's presence within the Ryugu Palace. In Punk Hazard, he was able to sense the Yeti Cool Brothers, attacking Chopper and Nami. He was able to sense that Rebecca had no true intention of killing him even when she was attacking him. During the Coliseum race in Block C in Battle Royale, he was able to successfully dodge all the weapons that Jean Ango threw at him at high speed. He can also use the ability to measure an individual's strength, as seen when he complimented Duke Inuarashi's strength at a glance. After pushing his Kenbunshoku Haki to its peak during his fight with Katakuri, Luffy gained the ability to see into the future on a limited basis, with Katakuri noticing that the level of Luffy's Kenbunshoku was reaching his own. Luffy learned to use Busou Shoku Haki during the time skip. He regularly uses it in combat to increase the power of his attacks and blocks, and is now able to attack low gear users like Caesar Clown and those with low gear like powers like Katakuri. His Gear 4th mode uses Busou Shoku Haki heavily to the point of exhausting it in a relatively short period of time. In the New World, Busou Shoku Haki has been a major up on Luffy, as he is greatly weakened whenever he is unable to use it. He had no hope of defeat until his Haki was recharged, and while his Haki was not recharged, he was not able to destroy Charlotte Peropero's Candy Wall even with Gear 3rd. Luffy's Busou Shoku Haki has the potential to be strengthened, as he has faced opponents with a stronger caliber of Haki than him, such as Charlotte, Cracker, and Katakuri. While in Udon, Luffy began increasing the level of his Busou Shoku Haki to damage Kaido's extremely tough body, after recalling how Silver's Rayleigh was able to repel an elephant attack on Ruskaina without touching it. In the midst of an instruction to learn a technique called Ryo in Wano, where you project your Haki at close range as a defense repelling attacks and also as an attack, channeling Haki into the body of your targets, destroying them from the inside out. Luffy managed to master it inadvertently. This happened during a desperate attempt to rip the explosive death collars of himself and Hyogoro, after training tirelessly non-stop for a week under Hyogoro's supervision. Hitting a block of thick steel with Haki-enhanced punches, Luffy now seems to be able to emit his Busou Shoku Haki at will, as seen when he was able to punch a hole through the opposite side of a tree by emitting Haki from his hardened fist. He was later seen to be able to remove Yamato's explosive handcuffs by destroying them from the inside out, showing conscious control over this high-grade Busou Shoku technique, just as Rayleigh did when removing Kami's explosive collars. Among his main attacks with Haki, we can mention Busou Shoku Koka, which literally means color of armaments, hardening. In it, Luffy uses Busou Shoku Haki to harden his body or parts of it. It was first used against Kraken in conjunction with Gear 3rd to harden his extended arm to the point where it reaches a completely dark and glowing appearance in order to use his Gomu Gomu no elephant gun. We also have the Atama Busou, which means head armament. With it, Luffy impregnates his forehead with the Busou Shoku Haki to harden it. This is first used in preparation for the Gomu Gomu no Kane against the Iron Shell Squadron. Lastly, we can remember Gear 2nd Busou, a name that means Gear 2nd Armament. Luffy impregnates his fist with Busou Shoku Haki while under the effect of Gear 2nd to harden it, which also seems to have the additional effect of inflaming it, as it was used in preparation for Gomu Gomu no Red Hawk against Hody Jones. Fact is that Haki is an ability that few can learn to use, let alone perfect and pair it perfectly with their combat style. Most of the time, the user always tries to use his type to the maximum, with few people learning 2, let alone 3 models of Haki. Luffy is, without a doubt, a candidate to become one of the most powerful pirates ever in the history of One Piece. At this point, he is already strong and tough enough to take on Yonkos, having single-handedly defeated Kaido in a long fight. Can we expect even more of him in this final saga? What will be the peak of his powers? Will we have perhaps a Gear 6? Will he be able to stand up to Shanks in his current state? Let us know in the comments how powerful you think Luffy will become. That's it, my Straw Hat Pirate. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for a video, don't forget to comment below, because I'll be reading them all, as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your pirate crew.